Hey guys, it's Kay and welcome back to 30th Century Reverie Media. Today's video is going to be pretty quick and simple. I'm just going to discuss my TBR, to be read, reading goals of 2026. Kind of just the most prioritized stuff going in instead of something like way too ambitious or a bit red. It's because I was just chilling downstairs beside the fire. So do excuse that. I'm going to start off with what I am currently reading. I'm reading Middlemarch by George Eliot. About almost 60% through, I'd say. Absolutely loving this. I'm going to take my time going back and really trying to analyse a lot of the themes. It's set around the age of reform in the 1830s in Britain, and a lot of political commentary about the end of the borough system and stuff like that. Really great characterization. I'm in the middle of reading Orlando by Virginia Woolf, one of my favorite authors, except it's only the fourth work by her that I've read. I'm about 50% of the way through. Gonna finish this before New Year's, absolutely. It's a pretty short one. I have started reading The World of Yesterday by Stefan Zweig, who was an Austrian writer, extremely famous, and this is his memoir / autobiography that he published in 1942 before he actually tragically committed suicide, bearing over the state of the war and Nazism and everything, and he was kind of a Jewish background as well, so I'm really looking forward to just seeing his perspective on everything. The next category of reading goals are authors I already like that I want to read more from. So I mentioned Virginia Woolf. I hope to pick up at least one more Virginia Woolf book in 2026. I'm thinking possibly The Waves. We'll see. All of Jane Austen's main novels. So I have here Mansfield Park, Sense and Sensibility, and Pride and Prejudice, and Emma up here. So that's 4 Austen novels I will read in 2026. No question. E.M. Forster. I have read 3 of his novels. I have A Passage to India here, Where Angels Fear to Tread, and The Longest Journey. I hope to maybe read those 3 next year, so then I will have read all of his novels. I might start with A Passage to India because I have Everyman Library edition. Okay, this is where we start to get a little bit ambitious. I'm trying to get more into Russian literature. I read The Idiot by Dostoevsky, and I have here White Nights, which I will read, very short. So that's it, yes. War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I love history, okay, and this is set at an era that I'm kind of quite interested in, so it's a bit of a shame I actually haven't read it yet. So this is an absolute must, like top priority. This is going to become one of my morning books in like January, where I'll just sit down and read a little bit of it every single morning with breakfast and coffee. So I'll chip away at this for 2 to 3 months, I'd say, but I am definitely going to read this. I'm going for the mod translation just because that's what I happened to thrift here in this Wordsworth edition, and I did do some research and I think it will be fine for me. I have Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol, which I would like to read, and then maybe another longer Dostoevsky work. I do have Fathers and Sons by Turgenev on my shelf. I will also be reading We by Yevgeny Zamyatin. Sorry, I butchered that. But it inspired 1984 quite a bit, so I'm going to read that. Here I have The Mill and the Floss by George Eliot. She's also in the category of authors I already like that I would like to read more from. Next category is authors I would like to try. Here I have W. Somerset Maugham, hopefully I didn't say that wrong. I have Of Human Bondage and The Razor's Edge. Both these books were €1 each, so since he was on my radar, I said okay, and I picked them up. I would really like to try him, and I would also like to try D.H. Lawrence, but we'll see. I think I'm being more drawn towards this first, just because, I don't know, it sounds a bit edgy, okay? If trying to up the amount of nonfiction I'm reading. So I have Zami, A New Spelling of My Name by Audre Lorde on my e-reader. So I'm definitely going to read that one. How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. I dipped into this book in one of the decolonization classes I took over in Germany, and I really thought like a lot of the passages I used in the essay were really interesting. So I'm going to read the entire book because it's very important in terms of kind of contextualizing African history in like a post-colonial lens or something. In terms of essays, I have Illuminations by Walter Benjamin picked out. The work of art in the age of mechanical reproduction was something I dipped into in my first year of college. So I basically don't remember anything of it, but it was really interesting. So I'm going to reread that, and then I'm also particularly interested in the essays on Kafka within this collection. Speaking of Kafka, I do have a small, maybe not so small, goal of possibly reading The Trial or Der Prozess auf Deutsch in German, because I can speak and read German, not fluently but decently, and I would love to read one of my favorite books in its original language. So that's a maybe. Here I have a collection of poetry from the Renaissance. It includes Isabella Whitney, Mary Sidney, and Amelia Lanier. I'm planning on dipping into more poetry this year, so this is one of the books that I've selected. Otherwise, I'm going to be visiting one poet a month and just kind of maybe reading a very short collection by them. January, I've picked Emily Dickinson as the first poet of the year for me. Poetry, I am going to read all of Paradise Lost. This is an absolute must for me. I've already dipped into it a little bit, but I want to read the entire thing. That's by John Milton. This is going to be read, so this is top priority. Okay, I'm also probably going to read another Balzac book because I read Cousin Betty and quite enjoyed it. I just really love the historical aspect. I'm obsessed with just cultural and social history, and I think he's a really good resource for that. So The Black Sheep or Old Girl, I maybe said that wrong. The Plague by Albert Camus. That must be read. So there you have it. My top priority reads for 2026. Be sure to hit subscribe because I hope to be doing monthly wrap-up videos throughout the year as I grow maybe my booktube music channel. So yeah, this has been 30th Century Reverie Media. My name's Kay. Thank you for watching.